morning when the alarm goes off and nature calls, consider skipping here and instead going straight here. Why? Turns out a simple switch in routine could actually save the country billions of gallons of water. How much? 185 billion gallons, according to IFL Science. They published an article on this, and by their math, starting your day the shower way would save enough water to fill Lake Mead 567,000 times, if everyone in America did it. But would anyone really do that?
Yeah, definitely.
Why?
I mean, it's going down the same way, right?
Do people really pee in the shower?
Yes.
Yes? Even women?
Yes.
I asked dozens of people if they were down with it, and only a handful were opposed.
That's nasty.
My wife would kill me.
That's gross.
Amen, sister. Amen. But when asked if anyone did it for water conservation,
No.
now if you're poo-pooing this idea because showering wastes water too, you're in for a big surprise, because the shower wastes a lot less water than this. According to Scientific American, the average trip to Tinkletown takes 21 seconds, and in that time, your shower puts out less than a gallon of water, whereas every one of these wastes 1.6 gallons. So the question is, could going here instead of here really help end our drought? The Water District says no, because, quote, whether you choose to do your business in the shower or the water closet, all of that water already gets reclaimed, recycled, and returned to me. So, does that mean that we actually drink our own? I guess that's a story for another day.
All right, so it might not help our water situation, but in other parts of the country, it could be a viable option. And, you know, not all is lost. Evidently, this practice could save you some cash. According to those articles I mentioned, you would save a roll of toilet paper if you use it every 50 days.
You've just started some nice dinner conversation, Michelle.
Didn't I? Didn't I now?
She went there.
I told you I was going there.
Okay.
Ted, do you have a take on this one?
I just don't know how to segue from that over to weather.
This is a 2013 Nissan Rogue. So is this, and so is this. They look a lot alike, right? But they're not. One's been in a wreck, and I'm going to tell you how to tell just by looking them over, thanks to this guy, Garrett Hunley, a Nissan master mechanic. But before we divulge these dirty little secrets no used car dealer wants you to know, let's play a little game. Can you spot the wreck?
Yeah, that one on the end.
We asked folks on Fremont Street like Henry to guess, but he and practically everyone else, that one, so close, all chose the wrong car
The middle one.
for all the wrong reasons.
Now, why do you think the middle one's been wrecked?
Because it actually looks the nicest.
In fact, only 2 people
And the winner is...
chose the right car. Ding, 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 ding. Car number 3. So how can you spot a wreck? I'll let Garrett drive on this one.
It's good. This car has a new core support. You can see that our headlight's been replaced. All these bolts have been out of the car.
How can you see that?
To the trained eye, it's obvious. But to you and me, well, everything looks just fine. Garrett also noticed other red flags, like flaking paint, uneven body lines, and crooked factory stamps. Something you'd never see on a Nissan. But who knew that? Which is why when you're shopping for a used car, you need 2 things. A trusted mechanic to look it over who doesn't work for the dealership, and the Carfax.
It's one of the vital steps towards getting a good used car.
A Carfax tells you if it's been in a wreck, and the mechanic can tell you if the repairs were any good. Garrett says he's seen quite a few pieces of junk sold to folks unknowingly.
It's actually very common.
Because looks really can be deceiving, and if you get fooled, the cost of fixing it is all on you.
And now, if you think bringing a mechanic with you to check out the used car is going to cost you a ton, think again. It's usually less than $100, but it can save you thousands of dollars. So really, spending a little bit up front can save you a whole lot. And now you know.
It's a worthwhile investment. It's got to be a feeling of confidence, too, to say, now my mechanic will take a look.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I get this a lot. They say, oh, the dealership had a mechanic. They're looking over and they said everything was fine. But that's at the dealership that you're buying from. How can you trust the very person who's trying to sell you the car? This is where you got to bring someone from the outside independently in to inspect that vehicle.
And many times they'll give you a short window if you say, I want to go take it to their location too. The outside one.
Absolutely. As long as you haven't bought it.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you really can't unwind that deal. A lot of people ask me to unwind it for them.
You can't do
it.
it.
Can't be done.
If their mechanic has looked at it, just say, this is my second opinion.
There you go. Because you can always get a second opinion.
He deserves to be recognized for everything that he did. That's how I feel. That's why I won't give up.
That was Linda and Vern Romans back in 2014, talking about Ulis Romans, Vern's father. They wanted him to be recognized for his service and sacrifice in World War II. During a firefight in Germany, he was injured by a grenade and imprisoned in Bergen-Belsen until April 1945. He was given a Purple Heart while recovering in a hospital back in the States. Ulis kept his Purple Heart till he died 17 years ago. But at the time of his passing, no one was willing to etch the words POW, Purple Heart, on his tombstone, no matter how many times his family made the request. No matter how much proof they had, he truly was a Purple Heart recipient.
Unfortunately, simply having a Purple Heart isn't enough proof for the government that you actually earned one. Here's why. During World War II, 500,000 Purple Hearts were made in anticipation of great casualties. Because so many were made, many were given on the spot, and detailed records were never kept. To make matters worse, in 1973, records for soldiers from 1912 to 1960 were lost in a fire. So many of the recipients of Purple Hearts during World War II have no proof they got it except for the medal itself. And that's not good enough if a veteran wants Purple Heart recipient written on their tombstone.
But, you know, I figured we have enough proof that he had it.
The Romans had more than just Ulis's Purple Heart. Ulis kept his discharge papers from the hospital. And if you look closely at his medical release forms, they state he had 2 medals in his possession. One listed as PH, Purple Heart. 2 years ago, we presented this information to the Secretary of the Army in an effort to show them Ulis did indeed get the honor, and if nothing else, to have it re-awarded to him posthumously. But that too failed, once again, breaking his family's heart.
It's almost like if it doesn't get memorialized,
that I've given up on his story.
Linda and Vern did not give up, though, and I am happy to report Ulis finally has the words Purple Heart, POW, etched on his tombstone. It seems time softened the hearts of the mortuary. In March, Ulis's wife passed away. They shared a headstone, and when they took it to engrave her name, they agreed to add the words Purple Heart, POW. Linda and Vern are very happy that Ulis is finally being honored for the sacrifice he made for his country. And we're very happy to have had a very small part in this family's amazing and heroic story. I'm Michelle Mortensen.